Well, hello and welcome to Knife Delights. It's time for another Two for Tuesday. Yes, Two for Tuesday is an open tag, and I invite all channels to participate. And I thank all of those that have been participating over the last several months. It's an easy open tag. Just grab a couple knives and talk about them. Well, today on the table, what I have here is the Schrade Golden Spike and the Buck 105 Pathfinder. And Kirby Creek outfit. And if you haven't checked out the Kirby Creek outfit, you need to do so. I'm going to be putting a link to his video down in the description. He made a video the other day, and it was an open tag video about 3 knives to take into the woods. And one of the knives he took with him was one of these Schrades. KCO there, he's a big fan of the Uncle Henry, Schrade Uncle Henry Golden Spike, model number 153UH. And he made a comment that he finds it to be very similar to the Buck 105, and actually that the Golden Spike was just a little bit better for what his purposes were. And so I just thought, well, hey, let's just put both of them side by side and just take a quick glance at them. Now, I have to give you a caveat. The one that I am showing you here and the one that KCO has in his videos are USA-made Schrades. In other words, before Schrade went out of business. Okay? Now, the Schrade Golden Spike is still being made, but they're manufactured in China. So the specs are not the same. They've changed the, what do they call this? Well, it's the Delrin handles here. Oh goodness, what do they call it? Delrin Stag handle, I guess is what you'd say. The color is changed. And the Golden Spike that KCO is using is a USA-made one, and he has replaced the handles on his. So I'm going to be talking about the handles here just for a little bit. Now, this buck knife, it's one of the old 2-liners. So this is not a modern day production model, but everything I'm going to be referring to is, today's production model of the 105 Pathfinder. So we can see they're about the same length. A little over about 9 1/4 there. And about 9 inches there. No, about 9 1/4 there too. This one looks to be just slightly a little bit bigger. We take a look at the blade width. You can see here, Golden Spike has a little deeper belly to it than does the Pathfinder. Now this has been used some, so there might be a little bit of this blade that's been sharpened off. But I do believe, this gives you just a little bit more of a belly. The blade style is, the buck is a trailing point. As you can see, it curves up. And that's kind of what they call it here on the Golden Spike also. Although I think it's more of a Turkish clip or something is what they call it. It's not a true trailing point because the tip does not come up above that line there. Whereas you can see the tip is higher than that plane. But it's very close to a trailing point, I guess. Now, blade steels in today's production model of the Buck 105 Pathfinder, you're going to get the Boz heat treatment, 420 HC, and Buck does a very good job with their heat treat on that 420. Current production model, the overseas made in China model, what do they got here? It doesn't say what the steel is, does it? Hang on just a second. Well, sorry about that pause there, but I'm going to have to look up the actual blade steel. I got the specs here off of a website, but it doesn't actually list what the steel is on the current production models. Now, I want to talk about the handles here because KCO in his video, like I said, he'd replaced his handles. One I think was with wood, and another one with antler, actual stag. The knock that I have against this golden spike are these finger grooves. They're so pronounced that you're almost forced. Your hand is almost forced to go down into those finger grooves, and it just doesn't feel really comfortable for me, especially if I'm trying to, choke up on the knife or something. Your fingers are kind of forced to go back into those finger grooves there. Now the Buck 100 series of knives, they do have the finger grooves, but as you can see, they're very gentle, and it gives you the option to move your hand in and around, and they're not as so aggressive as to, like I said, to me, like almost you're forced to have this grip on this knife because of the way the finger grooves are. So I have found them not to be so comfortable, and I think KCO had kind of the same thoughts on his knives, and I think one reason why he probably replaced the handles. Now, I also want to point out another thing. Ray from North Star Knife Reviews purchased one of the newer models the Chinese made. He did a video on it, and he was highly disappointed in the current production of the Golden Spike. So I'll put a link to his video down in the description also, so you can go over the, watch and see what Ray had to say about it. Now, I don't have a current production model, so I don't know if they're the same blade thickness here or not, but it does look like, at least on this old USA made model, that the blade thickness was a little bit wider, a little more thick than the 105. We'll take a look at the sheaths real quick. The one thing I do like, again, this is the older or USA made version, but they do come with a very nice sheath, and they do have a small sharpening stone that comes with them. Mine is missing. I have one. I just haven't put it back in here. I was using it. But at least on the old USA made versions, they came with a very good sheath. They still have this style of sheath with the new ones, but I don't know if it's as good a quality as this one or not. So I did see a price here on this one around $36 on one of the online knife outlets. You're going to be paying around $79 or $80 for the Buck 105, so this is about half the price of the Buck. The Buck sheath, this is the old style flap over sheath. What it comes with now, it comes with a black leather, only it wraps around at the top and snaps. So that's not the current style of sheath for the 105. Now I have done an in-depth review on the Uncle Henry Golden Spike. Well, I should show you here on the old USA models here. It said Schrade Super Sharp. There's the tang on it. It says Uncle Henry down there. At one point, I think they had a serial number down in there also. They sure sold a lot of these. This was a popular knife back in the day. I don't know what the current tang stamp looks like on the newer Chinese made. But I do like this knife. I know I'm talking negative about it, but for me, the biggest problem is this handle, the grip on there. So maybe someday I'll do like KCO and replace that handle on there, and then I'd like the knife even more. Of course, on the Buck, the standard production model, you get the black phenolic handle. It's that black phenolic is almost near indestructible. I mean, it's a very good handle material. So there you have it. Just kind of a quick look at these two. Feel free to check out my other videos on the in-depth reviews of the 105 Pathfinder and the Golden Spike. Now down here in the lower right hand corner, I'm going to leave a link to my Buck Knives playlist. And down here in the center, that round Knife Delights, I hit that if you'd like to subscribe. And down here in the lower left-hand corner, well, that's just the next video YouTube thinks you should watch. So until next time, have a very delightful day.